What knowledge of audio engineering do you wish you knew earlier, and what was the main issue you had in your mixes when you first started out?
I pick my heart up off the floor, I'll never love you again.
That's so crazy. I spent the entire day enjoying this bird's view. I mean, it's cool. But yeah, anyways, I of course didn't spend the entire day watching this video. I spent the entire day working on my new song, Never Again. I wasn't satisfied, so I had to tweak a couple of things, doing more effects and transition sounds to make it really smooth and sound as professional as I can. And now it's finally 100% all done. The mastering session is booked for next Friday, and then it will be ready for release 2 weeks later. So it's coming in around about 3 weeks. I will also use it as the background music for this vlog, so you can listen a little bit to it, but yeah, it still needs to be mastered. Still no news about the studio, unfortunately, but I think it's time again, we haven't done it in a while, for another edition of Q&A. First up, by Riverside Productions, what knowledge of audio engineering do you wish you knew earlier on your phone call? Yeah? Bye. Yeah, it's already so late. Vanessa's calling me, asking me where I am, but let's get to the question. What knowledge of audio engineering do you wish you knew earlier, and what was the main issue you had in your mixes when you first started out? Main issue, just no experience, just doing stuff without having a clue. And what I would love to know... Wow, there are actually so many things. I basically do this entire vlog series like for myself 10 years ago, what I would have loved to know. So basically every video tries to cover that. But the main thing, I think reverb. Like I had a time where I didn't use a whole lot of reverb, and reverb glues together your entire production. It makes sure that it sounds polished and professional and shiny and nice. And you can have less elements in a song and make them bigger with reverb. Glue them together and this way get kind of this empty but still huge sound you need for electronic music and hip-hop music and pop music also nowadays. Because you might wonder, why is my mix sounding so empty? And then you just put more elements in there and then it sounds too cluttered and everything is clashing. The key is having less and the right amount of reverb, the right kind of reverb, and learning how to deal with reverb, basically. Okay, this one is a good one again. Last time I asked if you should drop out of school when a label signs you, I said no, definitely not, because a label deal doesn't mean anything nowadays. And now he's asking me, should you drop out of school when you write a hit? Is there a point to still stay in school? Yes, a hit is nice and will make you a lot of money, but if you're not getting managed right, and if you're not experienced, and you just have this big hit, you might not be able to deal with it, and then this big hit isn't worth a lot. You might get 100,000, but believe me, in 2 or 3 years they're gone, and then you're basically left with nothing. It's a great starting point to start with a hit, but it doesn't guarantee you anything. So yeah, probably stay in school, especially if you're younger than 18 or 20. Just do it, get it done. You can then just decide later on what you want to do anyways. And before being 18 or 20, doing music full time is not a good idea. Show interesting places in your city. Okay, why not? So this right here is the entrance to my studio. That's my studio. A penny truck. I fucking hate Penny. It's the worst place in Germany. The church, my old school. That's actually the worst place in Germany by far. I hated it. I hated it. I hated it so much. And now they're even making it bigger so more people can suffer. But seriously, if you're interested into seeing interesting spots in my city, I already made an entire video about my hometown, which is kind of nice. Do you remember the day where we went up the tower, the TV tower, and overlooked the entire city? Well, that's that day. We saw your studio. Yes, we saw from the tower. There's one frame where you can see the new studio. It's that close to the city center. We got guests, we got a lot of beer, so we'll continue the Q&A in a bit. 5 beer. Couple of hours, a lot of food, and a shirt later. Time to continue. Is it good to have a lot of unfinished tracks? No, you should finish them. But it's normal that you have unfinished tracks, especially at the beginning. I mean, when I started out, I had like, I don't know, 100 unfinished tracks per year. And now I have maybe 10 and 8 that I release. How long did it take until you had views? How did your first 20 vlogs perform? Not good, not at all. I think like up till vlog number 36, I did it weekly. I had maybe 100 views on the videos, just family and friends. And then the daily videos, the first 4 or 5 months, it took me 4 or 5 months of daily vlogging to get to 1,000 subscribers. And then 1 year later, I had already 20. And now in the past quarter of a year, it went up to 30 something. So it's exponentially growing, which is natural for things like YouTube or your music. But the beginning is so hard. It's so hard. You think about giving up every single day, and then it's like you just have to have the power to not give up. Do beginners think too complicated when starting a song? What would be a good step-by-step system to start one? Too complicated, yes, and sometimes like just doing things clueless, but that's how you start making music, by trying out and finding your own way. The best way to start, I think I already mentioned it a couple of times, is like the band concept. Think of a band. You have a drummer, he's playing maybe 6-7 elements. You have a guitar player, you have a chord piano player, you have a singer, a voice, or like a main synthesizer in electronic music. The guitar could be exchanged with like a pluggy synth, and the chord is like usually pads or like synthy, serum, future bass kind of chords. These are the elements that kind of make a song. If you put too many in there or more than that, or you have more hi-hats than normally a drummer could play, it starts to sound awkward. I'm not saying don't break those rules, but as a beginner, think about a band and have these kind of elements and the spots of them in the frequencies kind of covered. Can an EDM producer release an album? Yes, definitely. A lot of people do it, but you have to have a certain size. So for me, an album is no option. Not at all. No. And I think now the way people are listening to music, making an album is more about you as an artist wanting to make an album. Usually people just listen to Spotify playlists, so I could now make a Jon Sine playlist, put all of my songs on there and call it an album. So there's no really a need for an album. How to deal when your demo is accepted by a label? I got really excited and I don't know what to do, how to respond to them. Basically, if you don't know how to respond, my technique is usually to say, hey, thanks, what would be now the next step? And then just let them tell you what to do. What kind of memes do you like? I don't know if it's a meme. It's just like a small, very small video. It's a small kid in Germany walking with, it's like a holiday where you have like a lantern with a light in it and you walk around with it and collect sweets. It's kind of like Halloween, but different and weird. And I don't know why it's celebrated, but it's a funny video.
Oh, so nicht jetzt die Kerze ausgegangen, Willi.
The timing on this one is just perfect. What do you think of the Swedish House Mafia reunion at Ultra 2018? I don't know, was kind of expected that they might get together again. So I generally like it. I really like those 3 guys. Those were the people that I admired a lot back in the days where they were still making progressive house music. It all changed when they started doing this once track. Then it got ravey, EDM, big groomy, which isn't really my thing, but the old actual songs, amazing. How to get over the no creativity period? That's a tough one. I mean, you need to learn when you're self-employed in a creative field to kind of find your own little techniques to be creative and kind of force creativity out of you or get you into a creative mood. For me, it always helps just to listen to other people's music. If I listen to 5 minutes to other tracks, I get so inspired by what they did that I can immediately make music. Wow, just for a second I thought I didn't turn on the mic and I would have to repeat this entire Q&A, but it's on, it's good. There's sound. You don't want to know what always happens when I'm vlogging. There's so much stuff going wrong that you don't even see. So last question for today. Do you think education matters in this present generation for becoming a music producer? Yes, education is everything. I mean, if you mean standard education like school and everything, no, it's not necessary to make music. Not at all. Like, no, you won't need it. But it's good as a backup. So please, again, don't drop out of school. Dropping out of college is kind of fine. I mean, you're older, you're grown up, you know what you're doing. But education in a broad sense, it's everything. Like the knowledge that you have, I don't have to continue. You know what I mean. I mean, yeah, you need to know your shit to be good at it. I think that's a perfect statement to end the vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, just hit me up on Instagram. Also the Q&As, I do them on Instagram. And now just enjoy the outro with my new single, Never Again.
I'll never love you again.